let's go over this. Mr. Gurley will not be here today, and you're going to do the invocation in his place, Mr. Aycock, is that correct?
Yes,
Mr. Mayo's got the pledge, and he'll do approval of minutes. If there's any discussion on the agenda?
Yes, sir. We do have one more call. We have bid out the fuel at the Jetport, and the bids have come in, and we would like to add that to the consent agenda.
Okay, you going to make that number 10?
Yes, sir. We had 3 bids. Campbell Oil Company came in at the low bid, and
Get with information. I'm not saying that's what you're going to come and do, but I heard you will anyway. Thank you.
And what they do is they take a snapshot of the day of the fuel prices, and they promise to keep the margins at that rate. So if the fuel adjusts, the margins will not.
Which one was that now? I was
The aviation fuel bid, we're recommending Campbell Oil Company.
Okay. It's just looking at it's a little confusing.
Yes, sir. But it also, I think the Airport Advisory or Commission has also reviewed that as well.
Any issues with that, Commissioners?
No.
Okay. We'll add that as
Who are we with now?
We're Campbell Oil.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Is there anything that Commissioners need to add on? All right, then we'll have a presentation by Mr. Honeycutt on the Hurricane Florence update.
Yes, sir. Also, I've asked Kendall and Tammy to be here to give a quick update.
Okay.
Really wanted Kendall to, one of the really neat things that we did at the jail that caused us not to have to relocate people from the old jail. I think our staff went above and beyond, and Tammy gave an update about the numbers that we have seen.
Yeah.
Ray, I think she told you as well, especially about the disaster food stamps.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they've really done just an incredible job on that.
Has the facility worked out well down there?
I've heard nothing but good things.
Oh, they were really pleased because it's so big. It's big enough that people don't have to stand out in the hot sun or bad weather.
Yes, sir.
They were just ecstatic that the old busman bidder was offered.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. All right, then we got where we given the award weapon to Lieutenant Ron Baker. And we'll have public comments after that. And we do have an appointment committee.
Yes, sir.
And you got several on that. And then we'll talk about the new schedule for the convenience center hours.
Yes, sir.
And a motion on that.
Yes, sir.
And consent agenda, the exclusions all look okay, don't they?
Yes, sir.
All right. Budget amendments.
Yes, sir. The first budget amendment is for economic development. This is just a reallocation of current line items that were already in the budget for the Bryan property or the Goldsboro Industrial Park, and we're just combining it into one line item to make it a little bit easier to know what our funds available are. Then we have a grouping of budget amendments, and it starts on page 30 and takes you through page 40. And these are all reappropriations. I believe the majority of them are capital projects. There are a few others that are not capital projects. But these are all reappropriations of unspent funds from June 30, 2018 that needed to be carried forward to the current year. Any questions on that grouping?
Questions?
I'm going through.
Yes, sir.
Through what page?
Through page 40.
Through 40.
Should
My
take you through
goodness.
page 40, yes, sir. Hopefully, that's about the last of them. We've tried to catch them all, but. And then on page 41 begins the single budget amendments again. We have one for Goldsboro Wayne Transportation Authority, and this is for the 401k for one of the employees there. They reimburse us, so this is just basically a pass-through that we've budgeted.
Excuse me if I can
Yes,
back
sir.
up. You're moving along too fast.
I'm
on
sorry.
This morning, and I will
I can
wake
slow
up.
down.
On Budget Amendment 107,
Yes, sir.
page number 38.
Okay.
What is that?
Let's see. Take my paper clip off here.
Street assessment.
Street assessment.
Yes, so that's one of your capital projects. There was probably a couple of bills that had not been paid at June 30, 18, so we had to push those funds forward so that we could pay them in the next year. And when I do my quarterly, I'll give you an update on where we are with all those capital projects as far as unspent funds.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
could I ask, Craig, is all that street assessments and all that, is that all complete as far as we're concerned at this time? Are there any other issues that have to be taken care of out there?
No, sir. We did pass the resolution, and we have, the assessments have already been set, and the property owners have been notified of the amount. So we're all complete with that project.
Okay, I know there was a few complaints about some cables or
Yeah.
whatever.
To my knowledge, everything's been resolved. Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, where are you at?
I am on page 42,
Okay.
number 117.
I'm caught up to you.
You can slow me down at any time. This one is for 4-H, and they are just appropriating some of their fund 117 for 4-H fund balance. And this is to appropriate funds for credit card fees, and I think they had to purchase a couple of laptops for personnel. The reason they are appropriating for credit card fees is because they did not have a credit card machine in this department, and they've added one to make it easier for payment of camp fees and things like that. For wages, we have an appropriation of $317,667. This is for the Home Community Care Block Grant, and this part of that grant is a pass-through to the wages entity. For the Health Department, they are requesting to decrease the appropriation in the Minority Diabetes Prevention Program. They are truing up to what they actually received for this program in the 18-19 year and have adjusted the line items accordingly. For our school resource officer line items, this is for the anticipation of $157,420 from Wayne County Public Schools, who received additional monies from the state to fund 3 SROs. And this covers the salary and fringes for those positions.
Is that the ones that we're going to vote on?
Yes, sir.
3 additional? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, for the sheriff's office, we are asking to reallocate funds within their seized property line items. This is the federal forfeiture funds in the amount of $49,260, and this is to purchase an additional vehicle needed for the department. For WCDA, we're asking to anticipate and appropriate, I just noticed there's an error on that. One says $149,000, one says $146,000. We will get that corrected. It's a pass-through. It's a grant that has been received from the NC Rural Center for a building reuse grant, and so we will pass that along to that company.
So which one is the correct number?
I will find out. It's a good question. I based my memo on the budget amendment, and I think I just picked a number. So I'll find that out for you. We'll get it corrected.
Okay.
Sorry about that. For the sewer, we are asking to appropriate some fund balance in the amount of $17,618.98. This is for the Grantham Sewer Addition, and this is to cover change orders 5 and 6. And I did provide you in the memo some additional information on those change orders if you had any questions on those.
And we had Kendall review all those as well.
And you'll see also an amendment to the capital project ordinance because that's considered a capital project. Then we have Sheriff's Office anticipating and appropriating some additional controlled substance tax monies in the amount of $77,2832. And for the Jetport, we are requesting to appropriate funds. This is for the corporate area expansion grant. And this will cover that project along with the water suppression system. A portion of the funds are to be reimbursed from NCDOT for a prior year grant that we received on a land purchase. And then the additional funds are to come from fund balance. So we're transferring that money over.
Question. Where do we stand on this project for us getting started
turning dirt?
The contracts have been signed. I'm not sure the exact date, but we can get a date on that.
Actually, they're starting next week in regards to putting in the erosion control and that type of thing, so they're starting. next
Okay,
week.
good.
Supposed to wrap it all up by the end of January, I believe.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
That's all I have for you.
And as we just, she talked about it just a minute ago, about the dollars that are there for that 3 additional SRO positions. That's number 5 there.
Yes, sir.
And number 6 is those rope applications for GWTA. And we
Is-
promised them that we'd pass that today.
Is our standard pass-through?
I know,
Yes,
it's just
sir.
a pass-through, yeah. And a motion to approve changes to the Wayne County Public Library computer registration circulation policy.
In working with Donna, not a lot of changes, but trying to simplify what we've had. We've had very long, complex, and she felt like we needed to kind of simplify what we're asking our patrons to do.
Go back to the airport. You may get a long runway, because Ed and I are getting ready to start flying lessons.
There's a plane,
You'll need a Benjamin for a parachute.
there's a plane sitting out there that hadn't flown in years and years. I suggest that's the one y'all use.
John, you were not supposed to let that out.
Okay.
Where you been, Steve?
You can tell we've been gone away from here too long. Okay, motion to approve recommended changes to the Wayne County personnel policy and mobile device policy.
As the board's aware, we voted last meeting to change our carrier to Verizon, and part of that, we wanted to go back and relook at our policy and make sure we're consistent.
Okay.
So this is really just updating that policy.
All right, then we got the motion to approve the resolution adopting the 23rd Amendment to the pay classification and pay plan.
Right, that's to add on the new positions.
No, okay.
Yes,
And then number 10 is the airport bid for the fuel.
yes.
Under new business, resolution to support the farmers. Mr. Gurley was going to read that, but he asked me if I would do that for him. And I tell you, folks, we really need to think about our farmers. They have really taken it on the chin in this storm. Proclamation for breast cancer awareness. Mr. Aycott's going to take care of that. And then we got Alan Lumpkin coming in. His presentation, scheduled by his tax administrator. Motion to approve legislative goals for long session. And do we need a closed session this morning?
Yes, sir, we do.
And that's for what reason, Mr. Counselor?
To discuss matters that require attorney-client privilege with me.
All right, is there a motion to go in closed session?
So moved.
Motion on the floor, is any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Closed session.